All right, today I want to start with a question. And the question is, how do I find hope in a hopeless state? How do I find my way back from a place that you cannot come back from? Not everybody who suffers from mental health and addiction makes their way into recovery. Not everybody makes that change. There's a lot of obstacles that stand in our way, mostly our stubbornness and our pride. I don't want people telling me what to do. It's hard for me to listen to others. It's hard for me to take directions. And maybe the biggest one is I think I can figure it all out by myself. And so I don't ask for help. Finding hope in a hopeless state, for me, came in the form of watching people in recovery before me. I'm telling you, I was in. Now, I don't know that I would have been able. I don't know that I would have been willing to do the work that it has taken if I hadn't been beaten into a state of reasonableness. I found myself one more time in a position where I couldn't get back from, where I couldn't get out of, and I had no more ideas. And something happened to me on August the 15th of 2005 that had never happened before. There was this surrender that took place. I gave up 100% inside of everything that I had. I could not do it anymore. And I cried out for help. I don't know what I was crying out to help but I think it was when I did that, when I absolutely surrendered to the core of my being, my energy changed. And when that happened, my frequency was able to jump in with the frequency that would allow me to get into recovery, because something happened that day. I said help, and I had never asked for help before. I'd asked for help when I was in a pinch because I was just manipulating, but this time the surrender was absolute. And when I did that, some miraculous thing happened, man. They came and opened the door. That hadn't happened for a very long time, They don't open the door for me. I get what they call no bail holds. You can't bail me out. And they opened the door and they let me out, and they said that I had a friend, and my one friend that was left in the world let me come and stay at his place and try to figure it out. And I didn't know what to do, but I walked into a 12-step meeting because I was desperate. And when I walked into that room, what happened to me was I listened. Maybe for the first time in a long time, I was in a place where I could listen because I didn't have any answers. And so I shut my mouth because I didn't have anything to say. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, man. And my ears were able to hear a message that was carried by somebody just like me. And they didn't tell me what I had to do. They told me their story, and their story sounded a lot like mine. And they talked about being in that spot that you can't come back from. That place where there is no return from that place, man. And yet they had returned. And they said that if I followed a few simple steps and if I did a few simple things, that I could come back from that place too. And I was willing to do whatever it took. And so there's a willingness that has to take place. And what happened for me was I found some hope in listening to those other people, because I thought, man, these guys sound just like me, and they've been there. And if they can come back and recover, and some of them got 6 months and a year and 20 years, and how are they doing that when I can't go a half a day without getting high, man? When I've thrown everything in my life away just for another fix, and I can't not do that. And these guys are doing it, man. And so I went up to a guy after that meeting, and I asked him a question. I said, what do I have to do to stay? And he said, come back tomorrow and show up a little early and help us set up some chairs. And so I did that, and I became a part of that meeting and a part of that group. And and I got myself a sponsor, and he took me through some steps. Step 2 is believing that I can change. When I can see other people change and I believe that it can be done, that will instill some hope in me. And I want the principle of hope. You know, I've already been honest with myself in step 1. I've admitted to my deepest self that I have a problem. And so now what do I do about it? I'm not sure yet in step 2, but I do know that it's possible. And for the first time in a long time, sitting in that meeting, I got some hope. So, if you are ready to recover and you have admitted to your innermost self that you have a problem and you're ready to make some changes in your life, find a place of recovery and find some people that are in recovery and ask them how they are staying sober. Ask them how they've made the change. Ask them how they've gone from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body to being okay most of the time. Thanks a lot.